pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hi, Randy. How are you? I didn't even know you were here till right now.
She snuck in on us.
Yes, she did.
We should.
This is your
I
chair.
said we get a check.
He got it.
That's your chair, Mark. All right. You guys have a chance to look at the minutes?
I did.
Any corrections or changes that
I
you
don't see anything, Mark.
I don't see anything either. I'll make a motion we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
And we'll vote yes. Financial?
Same thing. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
I did not either. I will make the motion we accept the financial as presented.
I'll second.
Yeah, calm down.
And I will vote yes.
Try. I'm gonna be moving out of the way.
Communications?
NOPEC, we need to pass a resolution authorizing all actions necessary to accept NOPEC's 2020 Energized Community Grant. Whereas the Township of Deerfield, Ohio is a member of the NOPEC and is eligible for one or more NOPEC Energy Community Grants for 2020 as provided for in the NEC Grant Program Guidelines. And whereas the grantee wishes to enter into a grant agreement with NOPEC in substantially the form presented to this Board of Trustees to receive one or more NEC grants, and now therefore ordained by the Board of Trustees of Deerfield Township, County of Portage, and State of Ohio, that this Board of Trustees of the grantee finds and determines it is in the best interest of the grantee to enter into the grant agreement to accept the NEC grant for 2020 and authorizes the President of the Board to execute the grant agreement to accept the NEC grant funds. This Board finds and determines that all formal actions of this Board concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were taken in an open meeting of this Board, and that all deliberations of this Board and of any committees that resulted in those formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with the law, and this resolution was declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public health, safety, and welfare of the grantee. Wherefore, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption and approval by the President of the Board of Trustees of the grantee.
I missed a little bit. Could you do that again?
Need a drink of water?
We just wanna know how much you're gonna get and get all you can.
$10,200 or something
Need to make
dollars.
a motion to adopt the resolution? I make a motion to adopt the resolution for the NOPEC.
I second that.
And I'll vote yes.
And the NOPEC grant money has to be used for energy conservation. We cannot use it for put a roof on or paint a building or anything. It has to be, we have to replace old lights with LEDs. We need a new water conditioner. It's 18, 19 years old. They will pay for a new water conditioner, providing that we meet their energy guideline requirements. Stuff like that's what it has to be used for. So,
Like new bright lights around the circle.
no, you know I
You
don't.
think they're gonna pay
I don't
attention
think
to
they'll
that?
approve
It'll
that,
run
Mark,
through
because
itself.
we don't own those lights. Ohio Edison owns those lights.
But we pay for those lights though.
We just pay for the use of them.
Pay for the electric.
We pay for the electric. Ohio Edison provides those lights.
Then they need to replace those with LEDs.
I'm pretty sure NOPEC won't do that because we don't own them.
No, they run over top.
All right, so you made a motion, I second, or did you second?
You second and I vote yes.
Okay, so we're good to go.
We just need to sign the top.
Oh, God. Behave yourself.
Oh, you. Just did.
Any other communications, Kristy?
No.
Mark?
No.
Randy, any
I
additional
have nothing.
communications? I have one quick one. I called the health department yesterday, or Friday, about the coronavirus, see what information they had that I could share with everybody. This came from the health department and the state health department stuff, so there's some, Kristy made copies. Anybody wants it, it's just suggestions, so what they do know about it and everything. There are 3 confirmed cases right now in Cuyahoga County. So it will be in Portage County sooner or later. Anybody wants a copy of this is welcome to it.
If you're not elderly with an underlying condition, we're not talking about high blood pressure or something like that, but just
Husband is, but he never goes anywhere.
then you are the one that is most vulnerable to that.
With the lung asthma or anything else like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But other than that, It's a hoax.
Yeah.
Don't call me Trump, it is a hoax.
Hey, don't talk about Trump.
No, that's my guy.
That's my God.
All right, so anybody wants you want information on the coronavirus, Denise?
It's right
There it is.
She'll
right
burn
there.
it. She will, she'll just burn it.
All right, let's go to the fire department.
The guys had the ambulance out and they had the wheels balanced on it one day last week.
Thursday or Friday.
And then they're taking the mini pumper tomorrow to get tires on it. That's what I was told.
If we approve that tonight. The tires for the mini pumper that we talked about doing, we have to approve that. They're 10-ply tires or off-road tires or heavy, real heavy-duty tires for that. Those are the original tires on there. What year is that?
1993?
Those are
So-
the original tires on there. It doesn't have any miles on it.
Yeah.
What, 20,000?
Yeah, but they still
Yeah.
wrong.
But they're getting
Try
check
to
cracks
run
in
it.
the side now, and they're hard as a rock and everything. And
I was just thinking about, if we're gonna retrofit that truck with new pumps and everything else, and
regardless, we need the tires though,
Yeah, I gotta die.
and we can use it as it is. And if we do put the tires on, I want to take it somewhere the very next day and have the front end lined up and everything. So our Shones or whoever we can do it.
okay, I'm good with that.
What do you guys think? Because we talked about doing it, and
Did we get a price on that?
we're liable to get some brush fires going here and stuff, and grass fires going, and
Get it done.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
you good with that? I'll make a motion that we approve the tires. I think it's gonna be around $1,100 for the 4 of them.
I'll second.
That's the last I got. It's gonna be somewhere in that area right there. If it's
And
more than
yes.
that, I'll bring it up next time and we'll have to get the difference, but those are the original tires. That's pretty good. What else, Brian?
Kristy, you want to talk about the insurance?
We need to renew the accident and sickness policy with National Union Fire Insurance Company. It'll extend the term for till 3/29/2021. The total premium would be $1,273.
That's if you add, there's a letter in there for additional coverage for,
Because the department has part-time paid members that may meet our definition of career, we have included this proposal. The career premium reflects the cost per individual. If you have any part-time members paid on average of 28 hours or more per week, please let us know. Based on the policy, anyone paid for 28 hours or more per week on average is considered a career individual and is not covered as the policy is currently written. So the original policy is $1137. If we add that additional premium of $136, the total is $1273.
Okay, so it's just the insurance company making more money off of a definition, pretty much.
Just words around.
Well, if you don't, yeah, I mean,
That kind
damn
of
if
goes,
you do,
that kind of
you
goes
have to
hand in
do
hand
it.
with that 1,500 hours for part-time,
Correct.
full-time and all that stuff
That's right where
too.
that 28 hours is at, yeah.
But there are occasions where we have people work more than 28 hours, so we'll better do it.
Yeah, I'm wondering though if the 28 hours per week, does that average, do they talk about the 1,500 hours per year?
no, there's nothing said about how many hours per year for the insurance
They're just saying
policy.
per week,
Per week.
Averaging over 28 hours per week.
averaging 28 hours. See there, now let's figure that out. It's gonna be 28.52, 28 times 52.
Just short of 1,500.
1436.
Yeah, so that's under the 1,500 that we are not allowing anybody to go over.
I think we've had one go over in the past.
Mhm.
One. We're not gonna have that this year, correct? You're watching it?
You didn't have it last year either.
And again, that is regularly scheduled hours. That's not emergency or somebody
Correct.
calling off or vacations
So-
or something. It's regularly scheduled anticipated hours.
So we either pay it, to be on the safe side to cover our butts, or we already know we're not gonna go over the 1,500 hours and forego that and pay the lesser amount of
What's the additional charge?
$136.
What's $136?
You can't have too
Shouldn't be
much.
going
Need
over.
something a month.
What's that?
You shouldn't be
Ten
going
something
over
a
it
month.
though.
No,
No,
but
I just
again,
mean,
it-
what's-
how
what's
I
an
look
extra
at it is you never can have
$136?
too much
Yeah.
insurance.
136 hours.
So for
dollars isn't that much.
136 bucks,
Not
I'm
that
gonna
much
give
money.
Get hurt.
Yeah,
You know what I
I know,
mean?
but I mean,
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it.
Let's go ahead and
go
go
ahead
with
and
it.
do, yeah.
All right.
that's what-
I'll make a motion that we
gonna donate to them anyway.
We
Pay the higher premium.
renew it, or is that what you, is that the word I'm
Renew
looking
the
for?
accident sickness policy
Okay, I'll make that motion.
at $12.73.
Right.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I'll vote yes.
91 runs for the year.
91 too many.
That's all I have.
That'll take us to when, Kristy, 2021?
March
329.
March 29, 2021.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, I hope I get some lots of stuff.
All right, bumper.
Anybody of our new hires at the fire department showing up for any hours yet, Brian?
No, they haven't been allowed to work it yet. The new ones are not allowed to work it yet. They have to get some more training in before we can work the hours.
Volunteer response.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought that-
about volunteers? Coming to volunteer calls? Or working the
I thought
station?
that.
Working
one-
the station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
working
The
the station.
paramedics that we've
He-
got.
He's gonna do more time volunteer so he can learn the area since he was
Okay.
out, but he's
Okay.
planning on it. He's ran about 6 or 8 runs already.
Okay, that's what I was after, see if he's coming around to get familiar with
Yeah,
the operation and things like that.
probably been on 6 or 8 since.
How about
we
that
took him on.
the girl we hired from Berlin Center? I can't remember her name.
Tiffany,
Same thing, she's shown up a little bit.
she's been on 4.
Tiffany.
How's our paramedic in training doing?
You have to ask his,
No, I want to ask somebody that knows.
she's doing good.
Oh, okay.
He lives with her.
How much? Yeah, I know. I don't know which one I could say. Got my deepest sympathy, and I can't figure it out. Probably her, but because you can't operate a camera. All right. How many more weeks you got?
June?
When did she start that?
August.
So she should be done.
We think June?
June-ish, yeah.
Right.
Getting there.
Okay.
All right. Anybody got any questions for the fire department? Road department, we've been patching roads and everything with a temporary patch. It's not what we'd like to use permanently, but it's not available yet, but it will be here shortly with the weather being nice like this. We did come down and look at yours over there where you're talking. We can't do much right now. We have to come down, cut that, actually dig it out and put a base under stuff here. The guy's septic system has a drain line that comes out into that ditch right there, and it's wet constantly. I think is what's causing that right there.
Where's that at?
Up the street from you, about 4 houses up.
Oh, I'm up to.
Yeah.
He has that pipe that comes out of his front
Yes.
yard and goes right into the ditch.
Oh, okay.
And that's, we think that's why it's just wet there all the time, but we are gonna cut it out. We'll dig it out and put a base in and repave and everything, but we can't do it now until it's kinda mushy right now. That's about it. Cemeteries, that drain in the cemetery will be fixed in the next week or so. Oh, speaking of cemetery, we need to make a motion to buy pipe and repair products and everything. Marlboro Supply has their open house this Friday where we get 10% off, so we need to stock up on our pipe that we keep on hand and different things. We guys just,
Yeah, I'm trying to see how many sticks we got over there now. Looks like a couple. 2. We got some bigger ones too. I don't know.
up to $1,000 or something, or just, because that stuff doesn't go bad, and it's stuff we use year to year. We end up buying the same stuff every year.
Yeah, I'd
Want to do
say.
something like that?
Yeah. I mean,
Because that 24-inch catch basin is already ordered. We'll get that under the 10% off, so that's gonna be $230 just for that right there.
Yeah, $1,000 doesn't get you much though. I was thinking
No.
15.
$1,500, okay. I'll make a motion, we approve up to $1,500 for material to have on hand and stock at road department.
I'll second.
Yes.
All right, buildings and grounds under the cemetery, the same thing, just wet, wet, wet right now, but everything's gotta open up at once, I'm
He was
afraid.
grading Deerfield today, I think, with the tractor and the
Yeah.
blade.
Back blade. I don't know if anybody's down there or not, so.
I was.
But we're not gonna replace that whole drain like we talked about down there at
Or they were doing it?
the
Were
east
they
drive.
doing
We're gonna patch what's there until we
it? Okay.
can get the money to do it right. I don't wanna turn that into a major construction project. So we're gonna patch that. speed limit signs on your road right there. I have talked to them about it. I'm gonna meet with them one day next week, but they don't sound too enthused because of the road it is and the traffic on it. You
Well,
have
I'll
to
tell you
have,
what, I saw
certain
3
amount of
kids out
traffic.
there just today, and it's gonna get worse, and somebody's gonna get it.
they brought a good
I'm
point
telling
up
you.
though, who pays attention to stop signs on the secondary roads. And they're right, they
The
don't.
speed
but
limits, yeah, and,
or speed limit signs. We'll get something done though.
yeah, 'cause like I said, there was 3 kids out there today, and you watch,
Okay,
something's gonna happen, I'm telling you. It's just an accident looking for a place to happen.
Why can't you put a speed thing there for a while? You know, it shows
It's
you
not
what
gonna do
speed.
any good.
Right.
If they go over that cord, they're gonna slow
And they
down.
take 2/3 of the road.
Yeah,
I mean, it helps up in the
I'm gonna
Now
go-
that they're stopping right
I'm gonna
in
go
front of
visit that man anyhow. I don't wanna ruffle too much since there's an ongoing thing with Portage County.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh, we're not gonna get rid of him, he's got Bob Moyer up all around.
Well-
He's gonna make it look like a
He
park.
spent
he
$40,000 in that fence probably around
Oh,
there.
probably did.
Or more.
He ain't going nowhere.
He's got
No.
more money than anybody, so.
He's
But,
a-
as I understand, Randy Roberts did call me, and, he is going to comply with EPA. And at that point, he will either upgrade that residential system that he put in, or he will put in a commercial. And, then once he has the commercial, why then he will have to go back to the building department and upgrade his permits to commercial. So,
Well, good thing.
So,
Which Randy would have been
so-
involved at the beginning, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in right
Because
now if
here's-
Randy was there.
But here's the problem that I still have, and this is what's screwed up with a lot of shit in Portage County is, so you can go there and you can pull a permit and violate that permit and don't follow that permit and get it back to where you want it anyhow.
might make
So you
right.
sneak in and you sneak off and you,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
our
do
building
what you
over
want.
here saying, you know, it's only for storage. And then try to turn that storage, that's what you pulled the thing for. Yeah.
And people are watching, because we have other people who have businesses that would love to have it in these residential areas, and they are watching.
Again, Portage County is just,
So we need-
they're terrible, as
And
far
now
as I'm
then-
concerned.
Right, and I did inform the sheriff's department, but they haven't come out yet. If that gate doesn't work, because it's an electric gate, then the big double axle trucks sit right there with their door open. And, like my neighbor, she was scared to lay on the horn or anything because they are so rude. You have to wait behind them until somebody will come and let them in the gate.
Mm-hmm.
They're very
Again,
rude, very
it
unpleasant.
all comes back to bait and switch, and the county allows them to do it.
And I tell you, I was back to my driveway and one of their drivers went past and another went past. By the time I pulled out, they were already at the gate. The
Problem
second car
is-
was opening up the gate. That's how they fly down the road, cause I was facing the road. I went out behind them, but I didn't speed, cause I don't do that.
Like at three at a time.
I think a lot of the problem
I got
is
pictures.
the legal fees that it's gonna cost to fight that, and I think the county looks at that and what it's gonna cost to fight that, so
They're
they're
gonna let it go.
they're gonna let it go.
They're gonna let it go.
So, you know,
How
again,
you gonna get rid of it?
it's all who
Sad.
you know.
Yeah, it's all who you know's right.
Unfortunately,
sure.
Watson View Town Road is going to be
Oh, yeah,
more,
we're gonna be fixing that road constantly.
Oh, definitely, it's a mess.
And again, thank you, county. So, I hope they don't
And he,
ask us
once
for
again,
nothing.
keeps calling
But I ain't
himself a
gonna be on board.
homeowner, and he has no home there.
In part of the county's defense, Chris Maduri did say no, absolutely not in
Exactly.
any circumstance.
Right, but
they,
Chris,
Chris was overruled on it, and they
Yeah.
went ahead and issued their permit against his wishes. He said, what's happened now is what Chris said was gonna
It's
happen.
But he pulled a permit for non-commercial, he pulled that for
Yes.
storage, and he's got electric in it, he's got plumbing in it, and he's got everything else in it. And he didn't pull a commercial, he didn't have
Yep.
septic, so they worked with him is what they did. The county worked with him to get him to where he's at.
don't forget about the big storage tank for them to change their oil, which
that's
is
gonna
right
go in
by
the
the
lake.
stream that leads into the lake.
Correct.
And, the Army Corps can't do anything until That is finally, they see the oil seeping down.
Until there
the
isn't
drain.
a discharge that gets on their property, then
Because
they can stop
everybody,
it.
homeowners are supposed to have one of those, because they can wash out their garages, then put into that huge holding tank,
Yeah.
is what we were told.
Yeah, they just need to hold these people to the, and stick with it, and stick to the law.
Yeah. but-
That's all they need to do. That's what we vote them in to do, is
Yeah.
to hold people accountable for what they do, and we don't get that.
Sure.
We don't get that at all.
Meanwhile, he said, oh, it's gonna look like a park.
Yeah,
Bob Leiter? What
Yep.
park does he go to?
Yeah.
well, again.
Oh, it is what
All
it
right.
is.
So that sounds like that's over with then, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
We'll
So,
keep our eyes open.
no, it just sounds like the
Right.
county cave.
It's just,
Nobody kept their cojones.
exactly,
They gave them away.
exactly. Because we told them when that septic was coming in, we called, right, it is what it is.
Mhm.
It, the rules mean nothing, absolutely nothing.
Until you wanna do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, well, some people are watching, and I think we'll see some more of that going on.
Money talk and it walks, so
Yep.
you don't get anywhere.
All right, we have a visitor tonight. I'm sure you'd like a few minutes to speak and introduce yourself and your goals and what you want to do and all that stuff.
Sure.
The floor is yours. This is Randy Kleitz. You're welcome to come up here or where you're at, or whatever you want to do, Randy.
As long as we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm State Representative Randy Kleitz. I serve Central and Southern Portage County. And so the reason why I'm here tonight is I've been doing town halls or office hours throughout the district since I was elected last January. I've been in Kent, Ravenna Township, Ritztown, Broomfield, Paris Township, and I wanted to come out this way to you guys. So I was coming in to see if I could use the hall here to have office hours. I was looking for the week of April 20th or before your meeting even, if you would want to do like a Monday right before you guys. I usually hold them between 4:30 and 6 o'clock. So if I could do May 11th, 4:30 to 6 o'clock, that would work. I'm typically in Columbus, Tuesday, Wednesdays,
May
and
11th, you
Thursdays.
said?
Yeah.
You guys got your calendar with you? Do you know?
So the week of April 20th, if you would prefer me not to do it on your night, I can do it.
Well, no, I mean, I guess that was my question. How many people you expected?
So it's been, and like Broomfield, I only had 2 people come.
Okay,
But Paris Township, I didn't use their hall. I actually used the laborers hall, not laborers, sorry. the
You're right up
steel
on
workers.
225 up
Yeah.
there though.
yeah,
So I used theirs, and we had about 20 come.
okay.
And then trying to think of who else. Ritztown, I had one and had like 5.
I'm saying, we have this always available for the most part, except for the nights of our meetings, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't care either way.
Fine
No,
with me.
this is fine. You can use this room right here if you want to. We'll-
Or you can use the,
April 20th, we have a dance.
I don't understand.
At what time?
I don't
Yeah.
understand what you do.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey, was it April 20th or May you wanted it? When?
Either. If April 20th, the week of, I'm home because it's spring break for
Okay.
us in Columbus.
Do you have
so I'll
one,
be here
a night you
all
prefer
week.
other than during that week, or
No, I'm open.
what's
so
available during the week, guys? Anything?
if
Well,
you-
this room would
This
be
room's
available.
always open,
This
even
room's
on
open
April
regardless,
20th.
so.
Yeah, it's just loud starting.
Yeah, if
There's a
it's-
lot of traffic.
Yeah, you don't wanna do it on the night the dance is
No,
here.
because that's loud.
you can fit 15 in here.
Is available.
if you guys
So any
would
night
like
but
me to
that,
do it, the night that you guys have a meeting, I could do the May 11th. But if you would prefer, because I'll send out,
It
so I
doesn't
send
matter.
out invitations on my cards, so it has my contact information, and then on the back. So if you guys would want me to say that I'm holding it before your township trustee meeting, you know, it
Well,
gets you
May
a little bit
11th,
of
if that's one of our
advertisement, too.
meetings, it doesn't matter what, whether she uses this or she uses that, doesn't, it's fine with, I mean, either way.
okay, do May 11th if that's fine with us.
What goes on at those meetings?
So, so typically, I guess I should, sorry, I don't have my back to you. So typically at office hours, people will come and just talk about anything that's happening at the statewide level. So this past one, people came in and talked to me about, there was issues about, oh gosh, what did we talk about? We talked about healthcare issues because we had a woman who is deaf and there's a bill at the State House right now to make insurance companies cover hearing aids. Because right now they only cover one every 5 years. Well, if you're deaf, you need two. And so that's an issue. There was people there to talk about broadband services, so we have dead spots around, so.
Developmentally disabled people, you talk about because they were trying to change some rules there, I know.
Yeah, so any
Gotcha.
issue that's a statewide issue, so you just come in because right now, as I said, I'm typically in Columbus Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so people make meetings in Columbus, but I also know it's really difficult to take the day and go to Columbus to address issues that you have back here. So I am a parent of a child with special healthcare needs, so I've been really engaged around healthcare issues for 18 years. And so I would go to Columbus quite a bit, and I just thought this was one of the big things I wanted to do was make sure that you all know I'm your voice there in Columbus, and I wanted to be accessible, and so I've just been trying to make my way around the county and just make sure that you can that I'm accessible to you and that you can come to me with any kind of issues.
Thank
So-
you.
Unlike past representatives, she's actually getting some stuff done down there, so I think we need to keep her there.
Would you take 15, 20 seconds just to tell, for the people that don't know what a state representative does, or can do, or should do, or may do, anything like that? Honestly, a lot of people don't know what the heck a state rep does. They really don't.
Okay, so Ohio is set up that we have 99 state representatives. So I serve, like I said, Central and Southern Portage County. There are 99 members in the House, and then there's 33 members in the Senate. And we pass a budget every 2 years, so all of the funding that comes to local government funds is all started by the governor, but then it comes to the state house next, and then we debate everything, and it goes through a committee process, and then it goes from that process to the Senate. They do the same thing, and then they'll come back to the House for us to agree with the changes that happened in the Senate, and then we pass that. So that's the biggest thing that we do, and that's every 2 years, and that takes us 6 months to do. So in January to June, that's really all we're working on. And then we are like the next time that we're in Columbus a lot, then you're doing a lot of committee work. So I serve on Agriculture Committee. I'm on Aging and Long-Term Care, so any issues with aging issues, and then I'm on Health Committee. Health Committee, right now we're vetting about 85 bills. Right now there's about 550 bills that are trying to pass the state of Ohio. So of the 550 that are in the House, 85 of them are in Health Committee. So on Tuesdays, we have something similar to this where all the Health Committee members are there. People can come in and testify and tell us about the bill. And then we decide if it should pass the Health Committee, and then it goes to the floor of the House, and then it gets voted on by all 99 members. So in Health Committee, I think there's 16 of us, and then it goes to the full committee, or the full House. 99 people can vote on it, then it can pass out of the House, and then it goes to the Senate. So we pass bills around, like right now in Aging and Long-Term Care, that's an easy one. We just passed the Dementia Task Force. So that's something that, passed successfully out of Aging and Long-Term Care that I'm really proud of. And then in agriculture, we actually made legal industrial hemp growth. So being able to make hemp so we can use it in fabrics, and they're using it in like CBD oils and those kinds of things. And so that passed, and that's really good for Ohio because we had typically been like our number one economic growth was in agriculture, and it's dropping now to second. So we thought if you could add a new commodity, then that's a good thing. So that's something that we did at the Agriculture Committee. And then in Health Committee, we're doing all kinds of bills. My passion is drug pricing, so I have 3 bills to talk about prescription drug pricing. And to Randy's point, I'm super excited. I passed my first bill out of the House, and it's rare that a Democrat can be on a bill because we're in the super minority there, that it passes, and it passed unanimously out of the House, and that's to put together a Rare Disease Advisory Council, because my son has special healthcare needs, I've been a voice for people with rare diseases. And so I just want there to be a standing committee for rare diseases. So it passed out of the House, it's now in the Senate. I testified in the Senate Health Committee last week, and we're hopeful that it'll actually get passed into law. So, yeah, it's been a while since a representative from Portage County actually passed a bill, so it'll be
Yeah,
super
exactly.
exciting. So,
About 10 years?
yeah, so.
Probably more than
I
that.
don't think your
So can you
predecessor,
get-
I don't
can
think
you
your
get that
your
Democrat-
predecessor ever passed a bill in the whole
That
entire
Democrat
8 years, 10
governor
years.
of ours to give us some money back? The townships, out of that rainy day fund that's sitting down there?
That's one of the things, so, in the state budget, there was actually an increase of 8% to, local government funds, but it is because more money can be put into the rainy day fund. We have maxed out our federal
That's correct.
max. And so, everybody thought that Governor DeWine did this amazing thing for local governments, but
They
really,
took it from us, but
He had
now
no
they-
choice.
he had
they
no
took it-
choice, he had to put it somewhere, so.
Well, they
he
took
just
it from
did
the
that.
general, and now they're talking about giving some of it back, but they wanna give it back to the road and bridge. And it's like, give it back to the general where you took it from.
Well-
Has that been resolved?
So the state budget process did give back local governments up to 8 or 9%. I'm terrible with numbers, and that was
Okay.
the beginning of the
That's
year.
fine.
But it was about that amount that came back in the local government's funds. So that fund was increased. I think what you're talking about is the road and bridges fund came out of the gas increase, the gas taxes.
No, I'm not talking about that. It's,
Okay, because that's where roads and bridges, that's the
right,
only
but
portion that.
but
came out.
originally, the money that we had lost when they took
The
over.
32%.
When
Yeah.
they reimbursed, when they upped it to what the townships were gonna get back, they had every intention of putting it into our road and bridge fund,
Not,
as opposed to our general fund, where it came out of originally to caused us all to be almost bankrupt. So
Yeah.
there was people working it, and I lost track. I don't know if that's been resolved or not.
I'll have to.
That's
John,
HB
John
something.
Ziska would know that off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I can confirm with him and get that back to you guys. But I think that I think it went back into your general revenues, but then the
Right.
gas taxes went directly to
Right,
roads
and
bridges.
we have
Yeah.
noticed an increase in our road and bridge fund from the
No,
gas
not
tax.
road and bridge,
or
the gas
just-
tax.
Just gas taxes,
Right, but we haven't-
which goes into our road department.
we
right?
haven't
Yeah.
noticed any increase in our general though.
Oh, well, yeah,
We should
in
have
the,
gotten
the
8-9%?
the government distribution is up.
Should be about
Is-
8%
Yeah.
minimum.
Is
It's
it?
up
A tad,
what we're supposed to get this year.
okay.
But to your point, it should be closer to what it was. And actually, there's a bill by Representative Jack Sarah, who's a Democrat, and I can't remember who the Republican is that signed on to that. But I'm a co-sponsor on that. So that just means that if it moves, I'm already on as a yes vote on that. And that's to return it back to the original amount that it was before.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, basically when they did that, they put struggling on all the schools and all the township general funds. I mean, we're pretty much bankrupt. We couldn't buy a paintbrush
Yeah.
because that's how bad they squeezed us. And then now they're talking about giving it back, but yet when they want to give it back, they want to appropriate it over to the road department instead of back where they took it from to begin with. So
Yeah.
that's
So I'll
wrong.
follow up and get that.
Were you involved in, they wanted a 26% gas tax increase, were you guys involved in keeping it down to 13? You guys were heavily involved in that, so we'd like to thank you for that, that helped.
Totally, yeah. Unfortunately, I was a no vote on that still,
Yeah,
because
but-
we.
And that's
I-
fine though, but
And my thought was, back to your point, like, they keep squeezing everything, and one of the biggest squeezes they did was public transit usually gets a significant amount of that money. They cut public transit out of it completely. So I was a no vote because I think if you're gonna have money going to transportation issues, cutting out public transit out of that budget is a pretty significant loss to a local.
and a big
Right.
portion of that's going to the roads down in Columbus right off the bat anyway.
Yeah, and so.
And we're not gonna see, we'll see something in Portage County, but not much. We're all paying for that, but it's getting put into the roads in Columbus. Quite honestly, it is.
And so for us, especially, rural areas where we're all, a lot of fixed income families, putting a tax on something that's necessity for those of us who have a long drive. I mean, we're not in a city where we only put, a few miles on our cars. a day or a week, we're taxed a lot more than the urban places are. And then to your point, the 3Cs get all the money from
Right.
it. So I'm really practical
Yep.
in my decision. So that's why I was a no vote on it. Not that it didn't help local governments to try and make up the difference for what was happening, but I just felt really strongly that I'm there to represent the people of Portage County, and I think we are impacted more on that kind of decision. I think that the governor should have made a different decision on how to get those funds back than put it on the backs of working people.
Do you have any more questions for her? And I will mimic Randy, I know, or Randy, I know Randy works very hard down there. I've known her a long time. She does work very hard, and congratulations on passing your bill as being a Democrat in that area down there and everything. That is something to be proud of.
Yeah, and I
But
know.
it showed the idea that you can work with people and stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the Representative Ginter. It took me a little bit of discussions with him to get on that bill with me as a joint sponsor, so he was my partner on that bill, and he was a really great partner, and we worked really hard to make sure that everybody was on board with that bill, so.
Congratulations
Yeah,
on
thank
that.
you. Thank you. But I brought a few of my cards, just so you could see what I would be mailing out with the information for the office hours, but if anybody
I
else would like.
don't
my
see
card-
why we can't put it on our billboard up the circle for
Yeah.
a
We
few
can do that
days
too.
before either.
Yeah.
We'll put it on our billboard up the circle
Okay. And then-
at least 3 or 4 days, maybe a week ahead of time that you're gonna be here at that time and everything.
And then we do get a budget out of the State House,
Thanks.
so typically, we send to about 300 families within a certain mile radius of the location that we're having it. So,
Thanks.
so some of your citizens will get it directly.
Well, a lot of people see the sign, and when you drive around the circle, they don't see
Yeah,
the
several
sign.
times you got drive around. I don't go your old circle, I go the
Well,
other
not
way.
you, but
I go the other way. I'm
not counting you.
Anything else?
That's it, thank you for
If
your
there's no more
time.
questions, I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn our meeting and pay our bills.
Another
Yes,
question.
hold on.
Okay, not to her. I don't know how many of you here get a newspaper, but in the Record Courier this past week, they announced that up at the elementary school at Southeast on April the 8th, and you might want to write this down at 7 o'clock, they're going to go in about recycling in Portage County. And if you know anybody, the more people you can get there to represent us, the better off we're going to be. So,
They're gonna do one in Southeast, they're doing 4 of
There's
them.
one in Brimfield.
You know what
One in
time?
Deerfield.
it's 7 o'clock on the 8th of April.
I'm glad, I was gonna actually bring that up, but it was announced in the paper, so go to Southeast, at least hear what they wanna propose for the recycling industry. There's issues going on,
I'm
we all know
going to try
there's
to get around
issues.
as much as I can, tell people.
Yeah,
I can tell you where it's gonna end,
And they got her, and everything else.
on your taxes. Just mark my words, it will.
I hope not, but we
It
have
will.
no say in anything anyway, so, but at least you can't complain if you don't go up there and stand in. You have to stand in and represent something to at least try.
yeah, I agree.
all right, and now I'll make a motion, we adjourn our meeting and pay our bills.
And I will second that.
Yes.
Thank you for coming down, Randy.
And I do have something I wanna talk to you about, if you give me just 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you
Yeah,
got
no
it?
problem. Yeah, my husband's still working, so.